Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan. If you didn't know, now you know. Today we are going to be unboxing the Yayoge Polygel kit. It is supposed to be a complete kit having everything we need to create polygel nails, and I did get it from Amazon. Of course, the link will be in the description. So let's see what is in this box. I have not actually opened it yet. And I wasn't expecting to find lint-free wipes, so I did bring some lint-free wipes to use, but I guess I'll be using the ones here in the package. Very convenient. Instructions, also convenient. We should definitely peruse them briefly. It does just show you how to apply polygel nails, talk a little bit about the product and what you need to prepare to put it on. It also has a little bit of information about cure times and wattage. It does say here down in the bottom how long you need to cure based on the wattage of the lamp you're going to be using. I'll be using a 48 watt lamp, so the 30 to 60 seconds should be plenty. Let's get into the polygels that are in here. This one is called Tender Pink. It is 30 milliliters, a good size tube. This one is called Colorful Powders. Really odd name in my opinion, but that is what it is called. I was just looking here on the tube to see if I could find like a serial number so that I could associate it with that name. It is easier for cataloging if you also have a number, because sometimes products have the same name. This one is called Golden. I do have another Golden polygel as well, but it is less densely packed than this one. And this is just regular pink. So we've got soft pink and regular pink. I suppose we'll see the difference. They did give us a polygel brush. This is different than your typical polygel brush. It doesn't have a spatula and it seems smaller and blunter on the end. It's not rounded. It's not stiff. It feels alright, so we'll definitely use it. Pardon me, the microphone sounds crazy, I know, but the one I was going to use is sounding really staticky for some reason. So I'm having to use the one on my laptop. We do have the cuticle pusher. It is exactly the same as your typical cuticle pusher. In fact, I have one just like it in gold. I'll be using the one I already have because there's no reason to open a brand new one if I already have one. Top coat, of course, the same cheap top coat that you get in every cheap kit, and you can get these same ones off AliExpress. Base coat as well, and this is called nail remover, but it does not remove your nails, I assume. I didn't actually open it. My best guess is it's probably like an alcohol wipe. Polygel nail liquid slip solution. I'll use this. I don't usually have a separate slipper solution. I usually just use alcohol, but we'll use it. 3 more polygel brushes. I don't know if the intent was that we use a separate brush for each tube, but I'm not going to. They did give us a couple of 100-180 grit nail files. That is the typical grit for polygel. I'll definitely be using one of these as well. And then a dotting tool. Not entirely sure why they gave us a dotting tool since there is no paint to be dotting. Maybe I want to stick a gouge in my polygel? I don't know. And they did give me this cuticle cutting tool. I like these tools, but you have to be really careful with them because they're sharp. I also like that it comes with a plastic cuticle cutter as opposed to the metal one, because those metal ones can be sharp. I'm going to put this in my box. I like this tool. And then also what appears to be like cuticle oil, but it does say cuticle cream. That's a new one to me. It's in a pen like a cuticle oil, but it's white and it seems to have leaked a little bit. I'm guessing this is lotion. It does have a little bit about the ingredients on it and says to apply it 3 to 4 times a week. I'm probably not going to because I don't think of it that often, but we will definitely use it today. And then there are also some dual forms if I can get them out of this box. They really were crammed in when they packed this. Let's have a look at these. They do appear to be the curved dual forms. Let's get one out and check the size. I myself don't typically use the curved dual forms. I know they're not that popular either. I do prefer the straight ones. In fact, you can get dual forms in all kinds of shapes these days, so you don't have to use what comes with the kit. You can get the kind you want and just use those. If you have larger nail beds, these may actually still fit you because they are slightly bigger than my thumbs, but to be fair, I also do have pretty small hands. But I'm going to put this up because I'm not going to use it today. Alright, so let's take a closer look at these colors. This is the golden one. I did make a swatch. That's what it looks like with my skin compared to my nail. And then compared to the packaging. Here's the colorful powder. This is actually the one that we are going to use today. It is transparent. You can see through it. I like that. And then this one is the tender pink. It is almost a jelly pink as well. You can slightly see through it. I can see the outline of this little lady here. So I'm a fan of this one, especially in thin applications. And then the regular pink, this one is not really translucent. It is more opaque. I cannot easily see the lines through it, though very faintly. I suppose if you used it in a thin enough amount, you could see. But polygel, you want to be careful going thin because it can break. So let's get the colorful powder one, and these dual forms that I am using for myself. I only need 2. I only have 3 fingers that need to be repaired. Anyway, they broke. Let's put this base coat that came with the kit on really quickly. The application doesn't seem too bad. I don't think it's too thick or too thin. It is going on here pretty sufficiently. I would say it's average. I'm not astounded, but I'm also not offended by it. I think it'll work just fine. Let's cure, and then I am going to use alcohol and a wipe to go ahead and get that sticky layer off. I don't know if everybody wipes the sticky layers off in between, but I do. I don't know, in my mind I feel like if that sticky layer is there, it's going to interfere. So let's get my first dual form ready. There's going to be a whole bunch of padding to try and get this thing thin enough. If you don't get it thin enough, when you put it on your nail, it's going to squish everywhere. But you also don't want to get it too thin because then it won't have any strength as well. And I am notorious for putting too much product, so I'm going to have to take that out. Spread it out a little bit thinner. And again, I only need 2 because my ring and index finger are the same size. So no, that's not right. My ring and middle finger are the same size. My index is the one that gets 1 size smaller. But that's the one that we are starting with. You want to make sure that you're checking all angles, checking the sides to make sure it doesn't have a whole lot of overhang, because whatever you have outside of that, you're going to have to file off. Cure this one, and then we're going to take it off. I try to not make myself have any more work than necessary. I did actually do a pretty poor job on this side over here. The sidewall is kind of completely missing. It's hard to work with the clearer ones because you can't hardly see the very edges, but I am going to leave it. It is sturdy enough. Let's get the middle finger started. Also, I did want to let you guys know that I did open an Etsy store. If you want to buy press-ons made by me, there's only a couple on there so far, but I make press-ons a lot for my Facebook group and I really enjoy doing it. So I figure if I'm going to be making them anyway, sometimes they're really cute and I might as well sell them. So they are on there. My Etsy store is SecretDevilYT Nails. So it's just like the YouTube channel and then nails at the end if you want to look it up and see if there's anything on there you like. I'll be putting new stuff on there from time to time, so follow the store, and if something comes up you like, definitely hit me up, and if you want something custom, we can absolutely talk about it as well. Let's get this middle one checked, not too thick, got a good curve to it. Let's press it on there. Not a bunch of overhang if possible, because again, Gotta file that off. That is extra work. Check your underneath. If it is thick, you want to spread it out. Be careful when doing this. I am notorious for putting my finger down on the table to try and keep it from sliding, but in that I end up sliding it. So I'm thinking, try holding it up in the air and being delicate. We're curing. And then we have one more we've got to get on here. Let's pop this off first because this is the one we're going to be using for the next nail. I almost feel like I need to size up, but the problem for me is my C curve is very strong. So a lot of these forms are made for flatter nail beds, and if I size up too much, then it just becomes too wide for my nail bed and it's hanging all over my finger. However, if I size it down to fit the width, it's usually not long enough to go completely around my curve. So what I'm thinking I might try is bending them like taco style or hot dog style, make them a little more curvy themselves, and maybe that will solve my issue of them being too wide while also giving enough depth. Got to cut these down. They're obviously way too long and I want them to match my other hand. I've made a mistake here. I cut this one too short. The dissatisfaction is real. Now that I've made that one too short, I've got to make all the other ones shorter, which means they're all going to be shorter than my other hand, and I'm pretty disappointed in myself doing that. These nails are totally fine. They don't need dual forms or anything. We're just going to put a layer of polygel on them so that they're kind of going to match their friends, and also it'll give them some stability, so hopefully we won't have to worry about them breaking for a little while. However, I will have to file and soak this off when I change the other nails because I don't want these to be left. And I think I put the thumb on there a little bit too much, seeing as how I'm not building a nail. I just needed the tiniest amount, but I don't often just cover my natural nails and then that's it. So I overestimated how much product I would need, just like I do when I'm doing dual forms. Definitely cure. And then the pinky. Here I try to use so much less, and it was difficult for me to get on there because I was trying to get just a tiny bit to come out and the rest to stay in the tube. So I am just trying to spread this as evenly as possible without getting it all over my cuticle or having a whole bunch left. Since I'm actually doing these cure as well, I've been having a pretty good time, and so I have decided to continue testing different kits since I get coupons for them all the time and occasionally I get PR. So I do have a playlist for non-nail polish related stuff, and that's where you'll find these things. We've got to get down to the filing. I am not left-handed. This is so hard because I'm trying not to just file everywhere, but it's so hard to be precise using my non-dominant hand. You're gonna have to forgive me for how awkward this looks because I am really struggling, but I've got these on too thick, so we gotta do something. They actually do end up being kind of humpy shaped because they're so thick in the middle, but I was afraid to continue to try and file them with my non-dexterity. But yes, so there are going to be upcoming videos of alternative products like press-on kits, polygel kits, Gel X, that type of thing. So definitely do stay tuned, be subscribed if you're interested in that type of content. It's generally going to be the Amazon type stuff just because they're so affordable, and so I want to test them out. You may have seen recently I did test a Gel X style kit with a gooseneck rechargeable lamp. I'm a huge fan of that lamp, even though I think the button placement is a bit stupid, but it's a really great lamp for like I think $15 it actually turned out being for the whole kit, which is pretty good price for something that's flash cure. You know, a lot of them little lamps are terrible angled. We've got to do some hand filing as well to try and straighten our edges up and then wipe off all this dust with alcohol. I ended up having to do a fair amount of filing, but it would have been a lot worse if I hadn't have used dual forms. After we get these cleaned up, we'll definitely just want to go in with this top coat that also came with the kit. It's also pretty average, not impressive, but also not offensive. It'll work. It's shiny, it's mildly thick. I did get a lot on my brush. You scoop it in the bottle And I don't know, nail polish is a thinner substance, so I'm used to it falling off more, but the gel just does not do that. And so when I pull my brush out, it's got too much. So I had to keep going back and wiping more off of the brush onto the bottle. So anywho, these are the nails that we ended up with. They are definitely short, way shorter than what I usually do. I did end up filing my pinky nail to be a little bit shorter to try and make them blend in. They're sturdy though, so at least there's that. I don't think breaking is going to be an issue, especially with how short they are. Even the ones that I didn't dual form feel pretty smooth, so I guess my filing job was alright. Let's use this cuticle cream. I don't know, it had it all over the top of it, so I thought that maybe it was all the way rolled up, but apparently it wasn't, because I kept cranking, it kept not coming out, so I had to crank some more. Over here making me look like I don't know what I'm doing, but that's okay. We got enough on there, and rub it in. We definitely want to revitalize those cuticles that just took a sanding. So that's it. I like the color. The middle one here, I got it a little bit too thin, so you can see my free edge. I'm not that big a fan of it, but I'm probably going to wear these at least for a couple of weeks, because what's done is done. And then I do have another kit coming, so I want to do a review video of that. Look at my index finger. It is so crooked with that one wall not being there. But overall, I don't hate it. I do like this color. I would definitely use it again. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for your likes and your interactions. I do always appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!